Hey everyone, welcome to your practice for today. We have a restorative practice for you, and if you ever see the word restorative in a studio setting or in a practice setting, you can expect for things to be very low intensity, hold postures for a little bit of time, and perhaps some more static stretching postures. Often in a restorative practice, you will be on the floor, perhaps using props such as yoga blocks, yoga bolsters, a blanket. We don't have those here today, but if you do have some blocks, I grabbed a couple of those and I can show you a couple of postures that those could be useful for. Um, Not a hard and fast rule, but often in a restorative practice, you will not be standing. So you can expect a lot of postures to be on the floor in a restorative practice. Yeah, we're going to get started today in an easy seated posture. So easy seated is cross-legged, and you can choose which leg you would like in front for your easy seated posture. Let's just start with hands on the knees, nice long lifted spine. Allow your eyes to close. And while we're here, we'll begin breathing, paying attention to the depth of your inhale, the depth of your exhale. Thinking about the movement of your torso as you breathe in and out. So as you inhale, your rib cage expands like a balloon in all directions. And then as you exhale, rib cage deflates, diaphragm drops, diaphragm lifts. Inhale, diaphragm drops. But we're always maintaining that spinal length. So maybe you think about pressing your sits bones down into the floor, balancing a book on top of your head. As with most of our practices, now is the time to try to focus here and now on yourself. Let your shoulders relax. And after your next exhale, go ahead and flutter your eyes open nice and gently. From here, let's extend both arms in front of your body at shoulder height and just start with some wrist rolls. So pick one direction to start. You might hear some cracks, some pops, totally fine. Make sure you reverse directions so you get both. And then we'll pause. Go ahead and take your left hand and flex the wrist so the fingers come back toward your body. Right hand comes over to the left, and go ahead and just support that wrist flexion. So it might, some gentle pressure might deepen the stretch. You might feel this in your forearm. We're still trying to sit up nice and tall. And then we'll take it the opposite direction. Fingers toward the floor. Again, just gentle pressure. It doesn't have to be a lot. Gently release that wrist. And we'll go ahead and begin to walk your hands forward to a seated forward fold. So just waking up the lower body. Maybe you find some neck movement while you're here. Think about lengthening through your spine rather than allowing it to round. We're maintaining that deep breath. Gently walk the hands back in toward your body. Sit up nice and tall. Again, with that left arm, let's go ahead and reach it up overhead and bend the elbow. Take your fingertips toward your shoulder blades. Right arm goes and supports the elbow, tricep stretch. So in this stretch, you're thinking about Taking your fingertips down your spine as much as possible, breathing. I'm very tight through my shoulders, so you probably have a lot more mobility than I do here. Whenever you find yourself getting distracted in these static stretches, I like to take my focus back to my breath and make sure it's deep and regular. As you exhale, you can release that tricep stretch. We'll take your left arm across your chest, right arm brings it in. This is an upper arm stretch. Again, sitting up tall. And with this stretch, you're often advised to avoid your elbow. So take it below or above, whatever works best for you. Again, not a hard and fast rule. Nothing terrible would happen if you did have your arm on the elbow. We're just trying to avoid any unnecessary pressure on that joint. All right, we're going to gently release that arm. And again, switch the cross of the legs for your second side. So opposite leg is in front. We're sitting up nice and tall. Reach the arms in front of your body. This time, we will go ahead and extend that right wrist. Use your left hand to deepen your extension. You can release and go ahead and take those fingers down to the floor for wrist flexion. As you exhale, release your hands down to the knees and then to the floor for your seated forward fold. Again, try to keep your sits bones even here. So if you're feeling one lifting off the floor more than the other, keep your weight centered. Hands walk back as you lift up. This time reaching the right hand up and bending the elbows, so fingertips toward the shoulders, left arm supporting, tricep stretch. Gently release and then right arm across the chest, left arm drawing it in, relax the shoulders. Maybe you find a little side bend through the neck. Keep the length. And then we'll gently release that arm stretch. Go ahead and rock over your knees, coming into a tabletop position. Once we're in that tabletop, spread your fingers nice and wide, and then step your left hand in towards center ever so slightly. After you do that, go ahead and take your right hand, reach it up toward the ceiling, opening your chest, opening your rib cage. And then as you lower that right hand down toward the mat, go ahead and take it in between the left arm and your legs, and we will find a thread the needle. So we're lowering the top of the right arm down toward the floor. You can lower your head all the way down. Hips stay above the knees. And then with this left arm, you've got some options. You can reach it forward toward the corner of your mat. You could keep it here underneath your shoulder for support. You could take it around the lower back toward the opposite hip. Choices. And if you try one and you decide you don't like it, you're always welcome to just take it back to a different option. But while we're here, we're breathing, feeling the opening through the upper body. If you've got that left arm wrapped or extended, go ahead and bring it back underneath the shoulders so that as you press into the floor, you can lift the torso, reach that right arm back up, and then lower that right hand back down to the mat. Second side, right hand steps in toward the midline, left hand traces up that right arm as you reach the left arm up toward the sky, and then lower it down. Take it in between the right arm and the legs, top of that left arm down to the mat, left cheek down toward the mat. Right arm options are toward the corner, under the shoulder, around the lower back. And the placement of your right hand does not have to be the same as what you chose for the left. Are you still breathing nice and deep? Next, exhale, right hand comes under the right shoulder, press into the mat, lift up, unwind, reach the left arm to the ceiling, and lower it back down to the mat. Let's move into some cat-cow. So on your inhale, lower the belly, lift the gaze. On your exhale, press into the hands and feet, into the shins, round through the upper spine. Continue with your own breath. And feel free to add additional movement in here. So you could do some barrel rolls with the chest, kind of thinking a circular motion with your torso. You could shift your hips side to side, bring it back to child's pose, come through into cobra or an up dog. Just trying to wake up anything that feels tight, tension. Let's do a couple more rounds, a couple more full breaths. And then we'll meet in a tabletop position. From tabletop, go ahead and float that right knee off the mat and step your right foot forward outside your right hand. So we've done lizard before. After the right foot is stepped forward, shift your left knee back any amount, untuck those toes, and let your hips be heavy as they fall forward. So we're keeping the right knee in toward the right shoulder. If you'd like to lower down further, you're welcome to deepen the stretch. This is a place where blocks can be handy. If you need to bring the floor up to you. But we're holding, we're breathing, making space within your body. Maybe you try visualizing where your breath is going in your body as you inhale. Imagine that inhale traveling to any places of tension, stretching, spreading, making space. If you are down on your forearms, go ahead and press yourself up to straight arms. I'm going to go ahead and move my blocks. And we're moving into half pigeon here. So that means right ankle will come toward your left hip, and you may use your hands to guide it if that helps. Take it across the center line and begin to lower down. So if you can see me, this right shin is at an angle. The more you place it parallel to the front of your mat, the more intense the stretch will be. Instead, my right ankle is in toward my left hip, and I'm just kind of sinking down into my hips to get deeper within the stretch. If this is super uncomfortable for you, you've got some options for modifying. You're more than welcome to lessen the angle of this right shin, or you can just roll down onto your right hip and bring that left knee forward, make the right shin more parallel to the front, and fold over that right thigh. It's a very similar stretch known as 90-90. Otherwise, if you're ready for pigeon and your hips aren't all the way to the floor, you can place a block under that opposite hip to support. Or if you're feeling good and mobile, you can just lower down, find somewhere comfortable to rest within this stretch. If you are looking to increase your flexibility, you need to focus on maintaining some sensation in these stretches rather than backing off. And remember, sensation is welcome, but sharp pain is too much. So if you're feeling sharp pain in any of these stretches, you need to back it off. While you're here, try to avoid sinking into your shoulders. We don't want to cause any unnecessary tension there. Let's take one more full breath. And then go ahead and take your hands back to the mat as you press yourself up and out of this pigeon. Let's tuck the back toes and lift onto that back knee as you come on up and straighten the front leg. We'll find a half hamstring stretch. So that leg that was in the pigeon, extend in front of you, flex the foot. And again, this is a stretch where blocks can be helpful just to maintain the length of your spine. Flex that front foot, bring the toes in toward the body, and then sit your hips back. So you're feeling the stretch in the back of the leg. Again, you're welcome to keep a soft bend depending on how open you are in the back side of your body. While you're here in this stretch, just a quick little tutorial on any blocks that you might have. They have 3 settings. This is the lowest setting, the medium setting, and then the high setting. So you can adjust them as necessary. Maybe sit down a little bit deeper for your last couple of breaths in this half hamstring stretch. And then we'll gently walk ourselves forward to support with your hands as we bring it back into a tabletop position for the second side. From your tabletop, this time left foot steps forward outside the left hand, and then you tuck the back toes, scoot that back knee back as far as you are comfortable with. Allow your hips to come forward and sink into your lizard stretch. So again, don't forget, you can even use books instead of blocks, or you don't need anything. Just adjust. Maybe on this second side, you're taking note of any differences from the first side. Our bodies are not perfectly symmetrical, so it's totally normal for there to be a difference in your flexibility from side to side. All right, from your lizard, we're moving to half pigeon. So I'm going to move my blocks and then use my hands, or not, just to scoot that left ankle over toward my right hip so that that left leg is at an angle. I have some space. I could put a block here to support. Remember that 90-90 modification, or you can just lower down into your half pigeon stretch. Breathe. If you are down on your forearms, go ahead and press yourself up to straight arms. We're going to tuck those back toes and press ourselves back while extending the front leg for your half hamstring. So second side half hamstring, straighten the leg, flex the foot, sit the hips back and down. Maybe you're losing a little bit of your focus. Maybe not, but if you are, just try to think about how this second side of your body deserves as much attention as you gave to your first. And if you're making a restorative practice a habit and doing it regularly, you might switch which side of your body you work on first to better even yourself out. Couple more breaths, maybe you sink a little deeper. All right, gently bringing yourself forward, where you're going to find an inner thigh stretch known as frog. So this might be a little uncomfortable. You can try it. You don't have to try it. But for frog stretch, you go ahead and start in tabletop, and I'll face you for this, and then work your knees out toward the side. Ankles are directly below the knees. So like if you look back, there's a straight line from the knee to the ankle, and flex your feet. And you're opening the knees so that you can lower down and try to breathe into this stretch. It's a little bit similar to a straddle stretch. It can be very intense, so you could use blocks. But we're trying to keep the hips in line with the knees, so knees straight out from the hips and then ankles underneath the knees. And we do not have to sit here for too long. Just breathing. Use your hands, lift yourself up, and we'll make our way to a seated posture. When you get there, take soles of the feet together, knees apart. This is bound angle pose, butterfly pose. Sanskrit is Baddha Konasana. With the soles of the feet together, depending on how far away they are from your body, you can adjust. So closer in toward your hips, a little more intense, further away, a little less. You're always welcome to place books or blocks or anything under your thighs for support if it's too much on your hips. Or you can just take your hands to your soles of your feet, sit up nice and tall, let the knees be heavy. Begin to hinge forward from your waist. So we're trying to maintain that length of the spine without collapsing. Just to start, maybe you use your elbows to keep the knees open. And then when you get to your point where you can not go any further, you're welcome to let the head fall. And gently roll yourself upward. All right, go ahead and use your hands to close the knees, feet flat on the floor, and then extend your left leg in front of you. Keep your right knee bent. We are moving into an intense thigh stretch known as half saddle. Feel free to take it as deeply or not deeply as you need to. Listen to your body for this one, okay? So left leg is long. With your right leg bent, lift the foot off the floor and take it outside your hip. So You might be more flexible than me and be able to keep the foot in toward the hip a little more. Mine comes out a little bit. Make your own adjustments. With this half bent leg positioning, from there you'll go ahead and walk your hands back until you start to feel the stretch in the front of that bent leg. You might be here like me. You might be laying all the way down. That's okay, as long as you can keep that knee down here and breathe. For me, that's a little intense, so I like to be a little supported in this half straddle stretch. If you're supporting the way I am, just make sure you're not here with your shoulders. Again, sensation is a good thing. It means that you are making progress, challenging your body a little bit, but it's totally up to you how intense you would like that to be. And again, if it's sharp, just back off a little bit. There's no need to be in pain. If you're all the way down on the floor, gently work your arms underneath you to support as you press yourself back up. All right, we will undo that side bend of the leg and move to a wide straddle stretch. And place these off to the side. For my wide straddle, I like to be sideways on my mat so that my heels are on a padding. If they're on hard floor, it can be kind of uncomfortable. Again, like your butterfly pose, bound angle pose, totally up to you how wide you'd like your legs. So open them as much as is comfortable for you. Flex your feet so that your toes are toward the ceiling. Sit up nice and tall. You might move your body mass and then begin to walk it forward. You are always welcome to use a pillow, blocks, whatever works best for you to support yourself. While you're here, though, try to maintain this activity with your feet rather than letting them collapse or roll forward. Toes to the ceiling. This is another posture where if it's a lot for the backs of your legs, you could have the knees bent slightly. If you have half blocks like me or something else to place under your knees, you're welcome to make that modification. Just going to take a couple more breaths. And then begin to lift the upper body to exit the posture. If you've got those blocks, move them to the side. Wherever you're facing, go ahead and bend your knees so that they are to the ceiling, feet are flat. So I'll turn sideways so you can see me a little better. Once you're in this bent knee position, take your hands underneath your shoulders with your fingertips facing forward. And then we're going to press into the hands and the feet as we lift the hips and lift the gaze and breathe. This is reverse tabletop. Your hips might be nice and high. We're trying to get them in between the knees and the shoulders. And then gently lower yourself down. Extend your legs forward. And we will take the opposite half saddle stretch. So again, with the legs extended, this time keep the right leg forward, bend the left knee, draw that foot outside your hip, and keep the knee heavy as you begin to lower your upper body. After you come out of your reverse tabletop, bring the seat to the floor. You can bring your feet flat and knees bent. We'll enter the second side of half saddle. So for this side, the right leg is extended long. Bend the left leg so the ankle is outside the hip. Knee is in toward your body rather than out, if at all possible. And then walk your hands back to your point of sensation. Continuing that breath, that focus as much as possible. I know it gets a little more difficult to remain present near the end of a practice, especially a restorative where you are still an awful lot, but you're here. So you might as well try to get as much as possible out of your practice. So remain in that sensation as much as you can. We're going to take a couple more deep breaths. Before you begin to walk yourself up to exit the posture. Then take that left leg and just reverse it so that the knee is out, the foot is in toward the right thigh, and flex that right foot. So from here, go ahead and turn your shoulders so that rather than centered, you turn them square over that right ankle. So think foot in the center of your torso. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale as you hinge from the waist. And then your hands may fall to your foot, your feet, to your heel, your ankle, your shin, wherever is best for you. Again, you're always welcome to take that bend to release a little pressure off the back of the leg, but we're trying to stay square and breathing into the stretch. Make sure both of your hips are grounding into the floor here as evenly as possible. And length through the spine again, reaching through the top of the head. Maybe take it a little deeper. On an exhale, roll yourself up nice and slow. We'll switch sides. Right leg bends, left leg extends. Flex the foot, turn the shoulders. Inhale the arms overhead, hinge forward from the waist. Breathe. Couple more. On an exhale, roll yourself up. And then go ahead and take both feet in front of your body. I'm going to turn toward the front of my mat. Feet flat, knees bent. Make sure there's space for you to lay on back and gently lower down. When you get there, hug the knees into your chest. Make a tight ball. We'll find a reclined twist here. So extend the arms to the side, palms to the floor, or you can use your hands to support your knees, your choice. But allow those knees to fall over to the left. I'm going to shift my hips center. If you used your hands, extend them out to a T, and then you might let your gaze fall opposite your knees for this spinal twist. Hands to support, or use your oblique strength to draw your knees back center and allow them to fall to the second side. Again, wherever gaze is comfortable is just fine. Hands or no hands, knees come back center. We'll move into happy baby. So go ahead and draw the knees outside the rib cage. Bring the feet to the ceiling. Hands can grab peace fingers to big toes, outer edges of your feet, ankles, shins, your choice. But try to stack the feet over the knees. Maybe some gentle movement. And then we'll hug into a tight ball one final time and very intentionally move to our Shavasana posture. So from this tight ball, allow your left leg to release. Send the left arm to the side, palm to the ceiling, and then right leg extends, right hand to the ceiling. Once you're here, find some wiggles, adjust. Maybe you shift the wrists forward, allow your ankles to fall open. Eyes are closed, face softens, forehead, jaw, shoulders. Body is heavy, breath is deep. Go ahead and remain in your final Shavasana posture as long as it's comfortable for you. Great work on our restorative practice today. I will see you again soon.